I never imagined a single night could fracture everything I believe about my life. But there I was, standing in the dimly lit hotel ballroom, watching my wife, Emily, sway in perfect rhythm with another man's arms around her, and feeling my chest tighten as if someone had pressed a fist against it. The music throbbed, laughter bubbled around us, but I heard none of it. My stomach churned, my hands trembled, and the words I had rehearsed for weeks dissolved into a raw, silent panic. It started as a company retreat, a weekend meant to rekindle camaraderie, and I had hoped a spark in our own marriage. Emily had smiled, told me how excited she was to dance and unwind, but I should have known her eyes had that spark too often when she looked at him. Ryan, my friend since college, someone I trusted enough to consider family. I tried to shake it off at first. "You're imagining things," I whispered to myself, gripping my drink so tightly my knuckles turned white. She laughed, twirling under the chandeliers, and my stomach sank further. I noticed the way his hand lingered a fraction too long. The tilt of her head, as if she were hanging on every word he whispered. Denial screamed in my mind. She wouldn't do this. Not Emily. Not with him. But the doubt gnawed at me like a relentless tide. By the time the band played our favorite slow song, I could no longer stay put. I excused myself, telling Emily I needed air, and stepped outside onto the balcony, the cold night doing nothing to cool the fire raging inside me. The city lights stretched endlessly, indifferent to my torment. Then my phone buzzed. It was Ryan. "Hey man, your wife seems fun tonight. Want me to get a hotel room nearby? Could be a good idea if you want some space." My stomach dropped. I reread it 3 times, hoping my eyes were deceiving me. But the words were clear. His tone carried a brazen confidence that made my blood run cold. I confronted him immediately. "Ryan, what the hell are you talking about?" My voice was a mix of anger, confusion, and disbelief. "Relax, man. I'm just joking, kind of," he said, smirking like the truth was some casual game. But the smirk didn't reach his eyes. I could see it there, subtle and unashamed. And suddenly, nothing made sense. Trust one had built for years was evaporating in seconds. I returned inside, trying to act normal, though my mind was a storm of dread. Emily noticed the tension, her brow furrowing slightly. "What's wrong?" she asked, voice gentle but concerned, not knowing she was the source of my torment. "Nothing," I muttered, swallowing hard, unable to meet her gaze. But nothing was nothing anymore. Every laugh she shared, every touch, every glance was now a dagger I couldn't escape. I began watching her carefully, each movement dissected with suspicion. And then, late that night, when the crowd thinned, I saw it. Her leaning against Ryan's shoulder, whispering something with a softness I reserved for me. My chest twisted. My vision blurred with sudden tears I could not suppress. I left the ballroom without explanation, my mind spiraling into 1,000 versions of betrayal. Was it just flirtation, or had the boundary I thought was sacred already been crossed? I called a cab and sat in silence, letting the hum of the city pass me by as I felt my world collapse. By morning, I confronted her. We sat in the empty hotel lobby, the sunlight harsh against our shadows. "Emily, I saw you last night," I said, voice cracking. "With him. Dancing. Whispering." Her eyes widened, guilt flashing briefly before she masked it with defensiveness. "It's not what you think. We were just talking, having fun. You're overreacting." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to cling to the Emily I had loved for a decade, the one who made me laugh in the rain and held me through grief. But the words from Ryan, the lingering touch I had seen, and the way her gaze avoided mine told me otherwise. The betrayal didn't need confirmation anymore. It carved itself into every corner of my mind. I realized that love, no matter how deep, could be shattered by small acts of deceit. The way a mirror can splinter with one careless drop. I stood, feeling a cold clarity settle over me. "I can't do this," I said, voice low but steady. "I can't trust you anymore. Maybe someday I'll forgive, maybe I won't. But I have to leave." She tried to reach for me, but the words caught in my throat. I walked away, each step heavy, yet freeing, leaving behind the laughter, the music, and the betrayal. Outside, The world went on, indifferent to shattering of one man's heart. But in the silence of my own resolve, I found the first flicker of strength, the possibility of a life unchained from lies. And though the memory of that night would haunt me, the choice to leave became my own act of reclaiming dignity, a quiet but unbreakable assertion that no one, not even the person you love most, can dictate your worth.